Good morning, everyone. Guess what? It's the end of the week. What a week it was. We'll recap that this morning, and we'll talk a little bit about what happened on last night's Deadlock stream, as I'd like to let everyone know what's going on with some of the new stuff that we've been trying out this week. In addition, I'm excited because today we're going to look for a new retro-style controller for the Switch 2. I've been playing older games and/or games that really need a D-pad, and the Joy-Cons don't have one. So we're going to look for something like that, and hopefully you guys will be able to give me some good recommendations on what I can get. People have been saying this 8-Bit Dough company apparently is really good. We'll take a look at different models and the like. And of course, we're going to have nice laid-back, chill vibes. It's been a great streaming week, and I just want to end it on a high note. So let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for a week-ending edition of the Level 1 Podcast. Alrighty, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the show. It is the Level 1 Podcast for Friday, February 20th, 2026. And I hope that you're all doing well, and I hope that you had a great week here on the channel. If you've been checking out all my stuff, and if not, what on earth are you waiting for? It was a good week of variety, right? We wrapped up some indie stuff like Hellmark. We tried out the modern take on the Virtual Boy, and even messed around with some retro games on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack service. We continued with awesome playthroughs like Hollow Knight and, of course, RimWorld. Well, we struggled a little bit with Street Fighter 6, admittedly, and then last night we tried something different with Deadlock. Oh yeah, and Dragon Quest. I mean, wow, what a week of variety here on the channel. There was a little bit of something for everyone, no matter what kind of game is your specialty or your forte. If you're looking for gaming, this has been the place. Now, what I'd like to do today is play a little catch-up, get everyone in the know about what's going on and what's actually happening next week, because next week there's going to be not one but two new games starting in the rotation, one of which is one of the biggest releases of the year, and another is a big question mark. So we'll talk about that. And, like I said, we have a marathon coming up on March 6th, okay? It is the Retrothon. You guys have expressed interest to see me play a series of retro games here on the channel, and a marathon is a great setting to test the waters on a few of them, see if any of them are interesting or fun, and maybe you'd even want to see them as playthroughs in the future. However, being that we're going to be playing these retro games on the Nintendo Switch 2, a problem arises in that I only have one modern controller for the Nintendo Switch 2, and that's the Joy-Cons. Now, I do have other controllers from the Switch 1 that potentially would work with it, but they're not great. Like, for example, I do have a Switch 1 Pro controller, but the D-pad never worked on that. So you can't play retro games with it. It just won't control them well. I had a Hori pad, same deal, where the pad also wasn't very good. So really, I just don't have a solution for any kind of 2D platforming game or retro game. So we have to look at stuff today, and you guys have been recommending a few different things. Like, I've looked on Amazon myself, and that 8-Bit Dough company seems to make a bunch. They have one that looks like an SNES controller. They have other ones that look higher end than that. And I'm just curious, what do you guys think? So today live, I'm going to try to get feedback from the viewers. What kind of controllers do they use with Switch 2? And we're going to go shopping a little bit and see what we can find, okay? So that should be pretty good. Kimikaze says, is your Wolverine not capable with the Switch 2? No, this controller which is the controller I use for everything now, is the Razer Wolverine 8K Pro, I believe it's called. It might even be called V2 8K Pro or something like that. It's PC only. It does not work with consoles. So even when I play a console, like for example, we did play one stream on PlayStation 5, remember? And when we did that, I had to use the actual PS5 controller last Friday when we tried God of War Sons of Sparta. If I were to play on the Xbox console, this also doesn't work with that. It only works with PC. So it's a great controller. It's amazing. I love it for every game I've used it with, but it's PC only. Hence why I need to get something that's going to work with the Switch too. For the record, I've been using this controller for Hollow Knight, and I love it. Like, this D-pad seems to work really well with Hollow Knight, much better actually than the controls that I had when I was using the Xbox Elite 2 pad for Silksong. So, Razer Wolverine controller, top-notch stuff for PC gaming. I recommend it, but it's PC exclusive. So, we'll talk about all of that today. We'll hang out a bit. Today's gameplay lineup is pretty interesting, if you're not aware. After the podcast, we'll be checking out a game called Marvel Cosmic Invasion. So, this is a game that came out in December. So, it's not that old, only a couple of months old. And it is very much a throwback homage to the beat-em-up side-scrollers of the past. Games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, or The Simpsons arcade game, or Final Fight, Streets of Rage. It plays like those games. I would actually say, to some extent, it even plays like more modern ones, like Guardian Heroes, where it has like special moves for certain characters. And that's really cool. It also has a wide cast of characters from across the Marvel Universe. And the incentive of the game is not just to play through it and survive and beat it, but each stage has special challenges for different characters. So as you play, not only are you just trying to survive, but you're actually trying to do unlockable challenges to get more content in the game, making it more fun. Every stage, you're incentivized to pick different characters, so you see a wide variety over the course of your playthrough, rather than just using, say, 2 characters the whole game. So, I'm excited for that. I think this is going to be a chill stream today. And hopefully, you guys will stick around for it. People wanted me to play this back in December, but we were so wrapped up with other playthroughs at the time and other projects. We're finally getting around to it now. Hopefully it works. You know, I don't know if this is a game that will need more than one stream. People have said that it is a pretty short game. It's Game Pass. So maybe it'll just be a one and done. Or it could actually be something that needs multiple streams. I don't know. Let's find out today, and I hope you'll stick around for it. Considering the fact people asked for this for 2 months, I do hope that people will be here for it and check it out. I think it looks great. We did play about 30 minutes of it during my marathon 2 weeks ago. So now we're getting back to it. In fact, that's what the color scheme is today. This is Annihilus's color scheme. Annihilus is the villain of the game, and he's retro Marvel. So his color scheme, no exaggeration, is purplish pink and neon green. So I made the lighting that today. So good stuff. And I thank you for chilling with me here today. Tonight on the late stream, Friday Night Fights returns with Street Fighter 6, and I'm going to go back to Honda. This will be interesting because when I first played Honda a month ago, all right, he's the only character who I actually played ranked with, and I did good. I won more than I lost, and I ended up having gaining like almost 50 rank points. So we'll see how it goes tonight. I mean, I'll be honest, now I haven't used him in a month, so I'll probably be rusty again, but we'll see how it goes. It'll be fun. Street Fighter 6 rage, but hopefully some victories and getting some points tonight. We'll have to see. So that's what's on the agenda for today. I hope that sounds good to you. It sure sounds good to me, and it's a great way to end the week. We'll talk in a moment about what's coming up next week, but before we do that, I think we should say hello. What's up, everybody? Who do we got today? On the YouTube side, we got Chris this morning, DJ, Heartbreaker, Narexadev, Joshua, Rose Diamonds, Rob's Receipts. What a nice name. Rue Star, Valor. Nature Based is here. Who else is here? Silver the Wyvern. How you doing? Lazalia Memes. What on earth? Quasar, how you doing? Pizza Time, what's up? Toasty, good morning. The Dom Toothpick Tom, Jeff Latoy, and more. On the kick side, who do we got? How about Captain Cody the Kid? Someone on their 50th sock, apparently. Virtual Boy defeats DSP. Who else do we got? Roundy Roddy Trotter. You're a Peasant. Piano-ish. Username already taken. Quarmath, excuse me. 2 Hamster. And more. In fact, Lance Catamaran just hit us up with the first contribution on the kick side this morning with 100 kicks. So thank you so much to Lance. I appreciate that very much. Let's get that on the leaderboard. So you may notice something different today on said leaderboard. What I'm going to do every day, starting today, I'm going to put the date and I'm going to put DSPGaming stats in the leaderboard. Reason being, people have been saying, hey, Phil, when we see people clip you and when we see people repost your content, we never see anything that would indicate that your channel's DSPGaming or that your content is from a particular day. And because of that, some people get the wrong impression. They try to find your channel. They can't find it because they don't know the name of it. They're not aware that you even post modern content. I'm serious. Someone left a comment on a video 2 days ago saying, I was watching one of your videos, reposted somewhere. And I wasn't even aware it was current. I thought this was a video from years ago. So I didn't even know I could find your channel and watch your content daily. If there was something to let me know it was modern content, that would help. Okay, I'll put the date, right? So there you go. From now on, I will have the date and DSPGaming stats there on the leaderboard. It doesn't hurt the stream at all. Doesn't hurt the content at all. But at least it gives some branding. Hopefully, it'll at least help a few people to identify the channel and find it in the future. Certainly, that would help, right? So there you go. Thank you to Lance for the first kicks of the day. I appreciate that. All right. So, the first thing that I would like to say, all right, Virtual Boy Defeats DSP says, can I give some subs to have you remove the date and branding? Sure. 100 subs right now, and I will remove the date and branding from the leaderboard for today. There you go. Perfect. That's a good arrangement. That is a good agreement. 100 subs. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So, what I'd like to talk about first this morning, before we get to next week's schedule, I want to talk about last night's Deadlock stream, all right? Because last night I tried Deadlock, and I had high hopes for it, if you want to be really honest here. I really was hoping that Deadlock was going to work with the audience, because I'm looking for a new multiplayer game besides Street Fighter to play. I wanted to play Call of Duty Black Ops 7 with my new setup of equipment and monitor, and I played well in it, and no one cared. It seems like Call of Duty is just dead in the water this year, and we're just going to have to wait till the fall to really play Call of Duty again, because no one cares about this one. So, I was hoping that Deadlock would resonate. Deadlock, for those who don't know, all right, is the new game being developed by Valve. It is not currently available to buy or physically own or even play at length. It is a limited play test, meaning if you get into it with an invite from someone who's in it, you could play it, but it's limited and not everyone has it, and it's kind of like a slow trickle effort to get it out there to get people to play it. Valve has been having this game in development for about a year and a half now. It came out around summer of 2024, and every month they just keep adding a few, like 2 characters to it, tweaking the gameplay and stuff like that. So what is Deadlock? It is a hybrid game. And what I mean by that, I mean it is a MOBA, very much, where you have a hero that you control who over the course of a game will kill minions, take over objectives on a map, and be able to purchase abilities that level them up. Also, you can buy special moves and level up the special moves during the course of a game via experience you earn by fighting and killing other enemies, okay? It's also a hero shooter. It very much plays like Marvel Rivals or Overwatch. It is third person, but it controls kind of like that. So it's really a hybrid when it comes down to it. What I like about Deadlock is the world design. It's basically based on kind of like a dark gothic horror element. Think Darkstalkers, the fighting game franchise from Capcom back in the day, where you've got all these like classic Universal Hollywood movie monsters involved. You've got vampires, Frankenstein's monsters, robots and cyborgs, ghosts, werewolves. Yeah, I can keep going. It's that kind of a game, and each character plays really uniquely. Like, no 2 characters feel alike, all right? That's a great thing, because the cast right now is vast. I think there's like, I want to say like 30 to 40 characters already in the game. Like, there's a ridiculous amount of characters in this game available to play. So when it launches, this thing's going to be full-fledged, like crazy, developed for years before people can even buy the thing. Anyway, so the reason that I was excited for this game is because I got an invite to it weeks ago, and I finally got around to playing it during my gaming marathon that I did 2 weeks ago. Played it for like 40 minutes, and I played it, didn't know what the hell was going on, had no idea what I was doing, but there was a few things immediately that resonated. Number one, the world design and the graphics are outstanding. The game looks great. It runs great. It's like really nice visually, okay? The gameplay, quite honestly, it was easy to kind of drop in and play. Again, feeling like Marvel Rivals or Overwatch when it comes to the base controls. I really enjoyed that. And I had a great time just playing with it, even though I had no clue what I was doing because I didn't understand the MOBA aspect of it. You know, MOBA, it insinuates that it kind of plays like Dota, meaning it's Warcraft 3 with a mod that makes it so that rather than having these characters who are just little guys who you control, there's a hero, and that hero you level up through combat and doing things on the map, and then you use that hero and minions to go kind of take over the rest of the map and win. And that is the core aspect of the gameplay of Deadlock, but it feels different because it's a third-person shooter game rather than a strategy game, okay? So, I played it last night, and here's what happened. First game, I was trying to mess around with certain characters. I couldn't really get the characters that I wanted every game because sometimes when you join a match, other people have those characters. But I played with a few. I played with a, first of all, a guy that looked like Raiden from Mortal Kombat, but he actually was like a robot or ghost. I couldn't even tell. And he controlled lightning and he had guns and he was pretty cool. Then I used a character that was supposed to be like a vampire hunter / monster hunter. And he was decent. I liked him. Then I used a character that was supposed to be like a robot samurai and I hated her. I thought that she was really hard to control. Then I used a guy that was kind of like Mr. Freeze from Batman, and I liked him, although I couldn't figure out why I wasn't dealing damage. And then the last match, I actually played with, well, I think it was 2 matches, I played with a necromancer woman who basically used the ability to siphon energy off of other people and resurrect zombies and stuff. So, played a wide variety of characters over the course of the stream. Every character played differently, seriously. Now, what ended up happening was, as I was playing, I couldn't figure out why about in the second half of every match, I wasn't doing any damage to anyone anymore. I was like a body on the field, but I wasn't effective. So the problem with Deadlock is a very similar problem to when I play Call of Duty, very similar to when I play Marvel Rivals, any game that's highly action-based. It's very hard for me to read the chat and interact with you guys when I'm playing it. Like, I'm trying to learn and understand it and figure out what's going on. And it's very hard to do that because I'm playing the game and it's full action the whole time. Any moment that I'm not playing to read the chat is a moment my team is losing because I'm not another body on the field to help them. You know what I'm saying? So it actually kind of was very daunting to try to juggle the whole playing but also interacting with the audience deal. And to be honest, for most of the night, I did not interact with the audience. Every once in a while behind a match, I would do some shout outs and I would talk with you guys for a few minutes to try to understand the game. And then I would just like jump right back into the game. So 2 hours, right? And to be honest, did I do great? No. Did I do absolutely horribly terrible? No. I did okay, and I was trying to learn on the fly. By the end of the night, I was doing a little better, understanding to kill the minions and do the takeovers and stuff like that. I won a couple matches. I lost a couple matches. All right, so it was a good variety. But here's what happened. By the end of the night, here's exactly the response I got. Attendance was great. Why? Because I was playing a multiplayer game that I didn't know how to play. And whenever that happens, people show up to try to be toxic jerks and say, ha, let's make fun of Phil because he sucks at the game. And that was what the vast majority of attendance was. It was people who normally you wouldn't see, and they showed up to basically crap on the stream. Now, I never play MOBAs, ever. So obviously, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to learn on the fly, and my viewers, who actually are my regular viewers, did understand that, and were trying to help me. But the vast majority of people there were toxic people. Okay, I'm just being honest. That's why the attendance was high, because it was like around 300 viewers on YouTube and over 100 on Kick. Okay? Engagement. Well, there was a lot of engagement, but again, it was a mixed bag. Some people were basically dumping on the stream the whole time saying it sucked, while others were legitimately trying to help me. They were trying to explain the game mechanics and be nice and say, here's how this character works. And I appreciate that, because much like any of these new games that I'm now tackling in 2026, I need help. I never would be able to do anything in RimWorld if people didn't explain the ropes, right, and show me how to do it. It's the same thing here. Another game that I just don't understand, and I needed help to understand it, and people did help me to understand it, and I appreciated that. But even though people were engaged, it was one-sided. It was people talking at me and not with me because I couldn't really respond because I was playing the game, you see? Support. Support was lower than the support that I'm receiving on a Dragon Quest VII stream. Now, not to say that the Dragon Quest VII streams are doing horribly. They've been doing more than $100 a stream when I play the game, which is great, and I'm grateful for that because I love it and I want to keep playing JRPGs. So even though those streams aren't doing incredibly well, they're still doing pretty good, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you, guys, okay? But the fact that this is a game where there's hype behind it, people had asked me to play it ever since the marathon, okay? And it's a game that I'm outside of my comfort zone. Everyone knows I don't know how to play it, so I'm going to be learning on the fly, and probably it'll be entertaining to watch me fail because people like to see me fail at things. And, of course, it's a brand new game for the rotation, and this is its first stream, all right? If a game is ever going to perform well, ever, on a stream of mine, it's going to perform well on the first stream. Okay, I just want to make that abundantly clear. First streams always overperform, and then usually there's a sharp fall off after 2 or 3 streams of any game. Even if it's a super popular game, that usually happens. The only time that doesn't happen is if the game has a cult following, like Hollow Knight or RimWorld. Since those games have the followings they do, people will come by and engage and support with every stream because they love them so much and they're so happy to see me play them. But in a case of a game like this, right, with Deadlock, if this was going to do well, it was going to do well right now. And it didn't. Okay? Now, here's the thing. You might say, well, people just couldn't show up or what, people didn't understand. No, they did, because here's what actually happened. It was around 9:20, and just so you know, games in Deadlock, you know, that go back and forth, they could take around 30 minutes to go. That's why I only played like maybe 3 or 4 matches all night. So because of that, okay, I didn't have time for a final match, and I really wanted to just talk with the audience about how the night had went. And when I looked, I was like, wow, we really only did like this much. We didn't even make $100 on this premiere stream of Deadlock. What gives? And I basically got a lot of toxic comments from haters saying, oh, you suck at this game. And I'm like, so is this the kind of person that this is going to bring to the stream? Right? I'm curious. Is that the kind of person that's going to come to a Deadlock stream? Someone who like is just going to crap on me because I don't play MOBAs and I'm just trying to learn? Because if that's the case, then I'm not interested in playing it. You know, I don't want to, I'm not here to make clip farms for these idiots. Kind of like, again, with Call of Duty, it seemed like the only people who were showing up to the Call of Duty streams were toxic jerks, and the people who were positive supporters were like, nah, I don't really care about Call of Duty. So why am I going to make content on Call of Duty? I'm not making content for my haters. I'm making it for my fans and viewers, right? So, yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, wow, that's disappointing. Like, I was hoping that this would bring in maybe either a new audience or an audience that really like MOBAs and who would come by and try to engage and support and help me learn. And there were people like that. I don't want to discredit those who were there and being positive, but that was definitely not the majority of people. It was a lot of toxic viewers who showed up. And basically, again, so it was like 9:20, 9:25, right? And usually I end my streams between 9:30 and 9:45. So I just sat there for about 10, 15 minutes to talk with the audience. And I made it abundantly clear. I said, here's the deal with what's going on right now with Deadlock. I'm noticing the toxicity in the people who showed up, but I really like the game. Like, I don't have a negative thing to say about Deadlock. I actually don't. Like, I think the world design's great. The character variety is great. The gameplay elements are sound. It plays well. I just don't know how to play it yet, right? And I even explained a game like that probably is going to take me another 2, maybe 3 streams of playing and listening to feedback and just getting experience under my belt before I'm really going to learn the basics of the game. All right? I need to play it a lot to understand it. And then okay, with this character, at the beginning, you kill a bunch of minions, you buy these particular upgrades, that gets your build going. Then you go to one of these jungle camps, apparently, to get more bonus experience, farming it. Then you go take out this turret. So every character is different, and every character has a different build you need to do. That's stuff you need to learn by playing. Right? That's not something that I can just learn on the fly, because it was hilarious. The trolls are in the chat. Ha, you suck. The stream would have done better if you played better. How do I play better when it's literally the first time I'm playing this kind of game? That's like saying your stream would have done better if you would have done better at Street Fighter the first time you've ever played a fighting game. Huh? I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. How could I possibly do well, right? So, here's how I put it to the audience. I said, listen, maybe some of you don't understand. It's this simple. I like the game. I want to keep playing this game. But there is no way I can play it again if people are just going to show up and be toxic, and people who are here and like it aren't going to support it. Right now, we're not even at $100 of support, which is way less than what I do for Dragon Quest. So, if you like this, support it. And I even said this as well. I said, if maybe some people who really liked it and wanted to see me play it just couldn't make it tonight, if they were to come by, say, tomorrow and support this game and be like, sorry I couldn't be there, but I do actually want you to keep playing it. I enjoyed it. Here's a contribution towards it. And if we see that there's enough people who are going to support this game over time, I'll play it again. Okay? As I said that to the audience, one person did a $2 super chat. And that was it. No one supported. And I'm like, so now I'm getting my feedback. That basically the people who wanted this game are people who just want to see me fail and laugh because I don't know how to play it. And really, there isn't that much general interest from the positive audience. Okay? At least that's the vibes I got on stream last night. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'd like to have that feedback if that's the case, but that's the vibe that I got from the people who were there during the actual stream. Okay? Now, I'm going to do some shout-outs. I'd like to take some feedback from the viewers, all right? And then we'll see what people have to say about it. Because, again, I want to make this abundantly clear. I like this game. I would love to play more Deadlock, but I need the buy-in. That people will be there to support it, and not that I'm playing it and everyone's just there to be toxic. Okay? The truth is someone said this in chat, and it really resonated. They said, Phil, it's not a big deal. You have 1 million games to play right now. Like, you have so many indie games that are out there that people have asked you to play. There's games on the back burner. You don't have to worry about that Deadlock doesn't work. And I was like, you're right. I have so much I can be doing right now that I don't need to say, oh, no, I'm not playing Deadlock. I can do anything else. So that's what I mean. When my time is in demand and people want to see me play so many different kinds of games, I need to be sure that the games I'm playing are the right ones for the audience. Last night's stream did not convince me that it was going to be a positive experience moving forward with this game. In fact, the toxicity kind of turned me off, okay? So, let's go ahead and do some quick shout-outs here, and then we'll see what people have to say, okay? First off, Princess Luna has gifted our first membership of the day, and I appreciate that, Princess Luna. Thank you for that. So, I got a $1 tip from someone saying, don't give up on Deadlock. It's pulling massive numbers. It has views. Like, people who are playing it, in general, the game is getting views pretty well on the internet. It's predicted to be bigger than anything else this coming year. That I don't believe. GTA 6 will be bigger. Probably Resident Evil will be bigger. But it seems like it's going to be big if and when it releases this year. Maybe next time, do the tutorial off stream. The tutorial took 5 seconds. All the tutorial was teaching you how to control your hero. It literally did not explain the game mechanics at all. At all. Like, it actually didn't try to explain how to play the game. Instead, it was just like, here's how you move, here's how you shoot, here's how you level your abilities up. Okay, great, but what am I doing? And it didn't explain that. People don't tune into streams for tutorial pop-ups. Yeah, it lasted 5 minutes, so thanks for the worthless advice. Like, really, that's just stupid, pointless advice. But I appreciate the $1 tip. Completely pointless. Yes, because I'm really going to go play the tutorial a second time. Anyway. So, here's the deal. What do you guys think? Okay? What do you guys think? Do you like Deadlock? Is this something that you would like to see again? Is it something that you would be willing to support that I could keep playing and learning? Because you have to understand something. This isn't Street Fighter, and this isn't Call of Duty. This isn't a game that I have years and years of experience in that I can jump in and immediately start having entertaining gameplay. This is the kind of game that's probably going to take me 2-3 more streams to learn the basics of even a MOBA and how to play it before I can fall into, hey, this is a character that I like, and this is the kind of style of gameplay to do it. You understand? So we have to be on the same page. Not, oh, well, I'd like to see you play it, but you better play better next time. How am I going to do that? I have to play it, you know? So let's see what people have to say. So Princess Luna says, I'm not sure, I wasn't there. I have to watch the on-demand videos. Okay, that's fair enough. You know, they're not even live for, 12 hours? So I get that. Cabal says, ultimately, if Phil's not having fun, I don't think he should play the game unless the support is enough to offset it. But Cabal, it's the opposite. It's what I'm trying to tell you. I like that game. Like, I would like to play more Deadlock. I like the design of the heroes. I know I'm going to probably find a couple heroes I really like and I'm going to want to keep playing with. And I know once I figure out how the game is played, I'm probably going to enjoy it more. But it takes time. It can't be done in a single 2-hour session. It's got to take time investment to do it. Ellipsian says, just skip Deadlock because the large time required for you to learn how to play the game is going to be better spent doing other things. Okay. That's fair feedback. Okay. Thank you for that. Escape Velocity says, if you're not in a financial situation where you can afford to have dead streams, then it's fine. Play what works. I appreciate that feedback. The situation is this. Normally, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I'm already playing Dragon Quest. Like, I've already saying, I'm going to take the sacrifice with Dragon Quest. I know with Dragon Quest, we're not going to have great streams of huge amounts of support. We're going to have some streams that are good, some streams that are bad, and it's going to go good, bad like this. It's never going to be great. It's just going to be kind of good, bad, and I've accepted that. That's going to be the playthrough of Dragon Quest. We're about 20 hours into Dragon Quest at this point. I'm not quitting the game when we're that far in, you see? So the choice is accepting a second game that may not perform well, and now, yes, that is kind of self-sabotage, right? I've already accepted one game, and now I'm saying, oh, I'll take another one that also probably isn't going to do good because I like it. It probably isn't very smart, you see? So I appreciate that feedback. Lycanrock, thank you so much for becoming a member this morning on YouTube. Let's get you up on the leaderboard there. Thank you so much for the support. Okay, what else? Again, guys, what is your feedback here? Kamikaze says, I didn't see it, but if it's not making a living and not having as much fun due to others, then play something else. No, again, I want you to understand, even though there's a toxic element in the chat, that shit doesn't fucking affect me at all. But again, the key to success, it's 3 factors. Attendance, engagement, support. Attendance was sky high, but it was a lot of trolls. Engagement was sky high, but it was a lot of trolls. Support was not good. So it's kind of like negative, negative, negative. Do you see? Even though 2 factors could be, oh, it was high. Yeah, but it wasn't the kind you want. You want attendance of people who are liking what you're doing. You want engagement from people who are liking what you're doing and engaging in a positive way. You don't want people just sitting there dumping on you. It's different kinds of engagement, right? Grandmaster Scrub says, I think the indies have been working well lately, very different than the streamers who are slaves to AAA games. I will agree with you there 100%. Playing these indie games, especially ones that aren't very long, has been working very well. I can play a game like Hellmart and beat it in 2-3 streams, and it does well, and then we're on to another fun, fresh thing, instead of being stuck playing a game endlessly, right? And I do agree there that works. Escape Velocity says, I've got 500 hours on Deadlock, and it will take you 40 to 50 just to learn the game comfortably. There you go. Okay? Ray says, maybe just put Deadlock on the back burner until you have a strong day stream and you can fall back on it. Well, again, that's fine, but the problem there is, like I said, we already have Dragon Quest. So, do I put Deadlock on the back burner until I'm done with Dragon Quest, which could be like another month? I don't know. What's up, King Michael? Good to see you here this morning. Shock says, I like the game, but man, it drew trolls like flies to poo. It absolutely did. Yeah, I agree with you there. That's a fair assessment, actually. Okay. Kyle says, I don't think 2 hours a day would be enough to learn a MOBA, as someone who has played a MOBA. Oh, someone who has never played a MOBA. Steel Reserve, how are you? Grandmaster Script says, I love Sharks and Minnows and Hellmart. RimWorld is some of your best work, honestly. Wow, well, there you go. I'm glad people feel that way about RimWorld, because that's a game that people could try to convince me for years to play, and I kept saying, man, I just can't get over how it looks. It looks like a doodle some kid made, right? And now that I'm playing it, the complexity of the game is what's appealing to me, that there's so much going on in it, and there's layer upon layer upon layer that's been developed in this game over the 12 years it's been out. And I am enjoying my time with it when I never really thought I would. Okay. Jade says, could you play as Venom today? And you have a cold? I'm sorry to hear that, Jade. Venom is in it. I don't know what characters are in Marvel Cosmic Invasion, but every stage they want you to play different characters and different challenges, and I bet that they'll probably have a stage where they want you to play as Venom and do certain things. So yeah, we will do that. Cool. So the feedback I seem to be getting, and by the way, thank you, Revy G, for a gifted sub. That's our first sub on Kick this morning. Thank you so much for that. Let's get that on the leaderboard. Awesome. Thank you. What was I going to say? Oh, the feedback that I seem to be getting is stick to the indies. The indies are working because you're doing a good amount of them. There's a variety of them. You're not stuck playing them for too long. And you're onto something fresh. People like the idea of something fresh. Like, for example, we're now going to talk about the coming week. And we're going to do another indies night. On Monday night, we're going to explore. And likely there's going to be 2 indies nights this week. Where we're going to explore new games and or play certain ones and see if they're any good. To find some new indies for the rotation. Because we finished all the ones that we were playing. We need some new ones. Yeah. Game Dude, yes and no. I'm just not going to even address it. Let's put it that way. I don't even want to say what Game Dude's saying because there is, sadly, when you are a creator, there are just certain things that happen that are unavoidable. So we'll talk about it later, but we're not going to talk about it right now. There you go. Okay. You're right. I didn't know about the leveling mechanics in Deadlock. All I understood was how to level your special moves. I didn't understand that there was leveling for your character and that each character had a specific build that you should try to focus on and that there was different, like, I didn't know there was spirit damage versus other damage. The game doesn't explain any of that. It doesn't. It just says, here's your character, play, buy upgrades, okay, have fun, and they push you out there. And you're like, whoa. Thank you to Landisucks, who did a HK $25 super chat. Now, I don't know what that is. HK? It's a Hong Kong dollar, apparently. So that is the equivalent of $3.20 USD. Thank you for that super chat. That's our first super chat of the day. And I appreciate the support. Thank you. You know what's fascinating is I get support from all over the world, right? Like every day I'm converting Canadian, UK, Euro, Hong Kong, sometimes pesos, sometimes like what was that one that I did? It was actually rupees one day, I think. Like all these different currencies. You know, thank you guys from all over the world who support me. You guys are awesome. Escape Velocity says Deadlock will require 100% focus. I don't think it really works for an interactive streamer. You're right. Like here's what I'm getting since I played Deadlock. Here's what I'm starting to understand. Deadlock is for the competitive gamer, meaning people who stream and they always focus on the game solely. You know, yes, they talk with their audience outside of the game. Maybe they'll sit there and play a game all stream, and then they'll have an hour of decompression where they talk about what happened in the game today, and then people talk with them. But as for the stream itself being interactive, for the most part, it's not. And sadly, that's just not what works for me today, right? Like for me, the best streams are the streams where I sit here and I talk with you guys and we hang out and we have a good time, we have a conversation, there's a social aspect to it. That's what works. So that's what I'm thinking, okay? Maybe I'm wrong, but that seems to be what's working for me most these days. And I think moving forward, that's going to happen even more and more and more. You know what I mean? The competitive nature really doesn't work, unless maybe I would say the exception would probably be Street Fighter. And the reason I say that is because I have so much experience in Street Fighter that's my competitive game, right? Like people want to see me play Street Fighter because they want to see how I fare both in the modern ones and the old ones. They like the competitive nature. They like when I can win a lot, but even when I lose, it's entertaining. I get that. So not every game is going to be my competitive thing. Another game, I'll be honest, that I like to play is Call of Duty, even though this year it sucked. Like I do enjoy playing Call of Duty, and I hope that they start making good ones again because I would like to actually play Call of Duty at a fun level. I have all the equipment to do it well. They just need to make a game people want to see and play. And it sucks that this year was just such a dud, right? But outside of that, maybe I need to stay away from these competitive games. Maybe that's the case. Maybe these competitive games just aren't for me and my audience. Even though I like them, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for the people I make content for. You know what I'm saying? So Escape Velocity says you could wait for Deadlock's full release when it has a better tutorial and a wave of new players. Yeah, but here's the thing. I did that with Marvel Rivals, right? I played Marvel Rivals when it was in early access beta. I liked it, and the audience said, no, we don't like it because we can't interact with you. So then I held off, and then when the game fully released, I played it again, and it flopped again. And I said, well, that's 2 times I tried it, 2 times it didn't work. I feel like I said, if anything's going to work, it's going to work right up front in that early hours of playing it, the first stream, the first session. That's when people are going to want to see it. And if it doesn't work then, it just ain't going to work, you know? Layla the Witch, how are you? Good morning. Good to see you. John, hi, how are you? John Nepper, good to see you today, too. Yes, I've seen King of the Hill. For ages. I saw King of the Hill when it was a brand new cartoon back in the 90s. Jade says, when am I going to bring Sagat back? That's a good question. Let's say I want to play with Honda tonight. And then I want to play with Zangief again. Maybe after that, maybe then I would say, hey, let's go back to Sagat. Let me try to get back into it with him. And let me see if I can get something going where I can get him to Master. Because right now he's at low Diamond. Maybe we could get him to Master. Escape Velocity says, just because a game isn't good... No, excuse me. Let's try that again. Just because a game is good doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for your kind of stream. I bought Bannerlord after I saw you play it, and I love it, but it just won't work long-term for you. There you go. Yeah. That is... Anyone who's a creator, all right? Literally, anyone who is a creator has to understand the reality of content creation. Unless you are huge and virally popular for whatever reason, because some people get virally popular for good reasons, bad reasons, stupid reasons, smart reasons, who knows, right? But unless you have an insanely huge installed fan base, you have to find your niche. You have to find the thing that you're good at and or people like to see you do, that they're going to come back and engage and support that behavior, right? Luckily for me, it's not toxic behavior. It's not hate on others and bring others down. It's not embarrass yourself and do stunts and do horrible pranks and things. It's play games, enjoy, interact with an audience in a positive way. That's what people like when it comes to Darkside Phil in 2026, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing that we've gotten away from the era of me just raging and you know, being toxic and being a jerk, and instead I've become a positive creator. However, in an era where there's so much going on, right, with games, it is hard to focus in on what is going to work all the time. And the thing is, I do want to continue to look for variety. I want to give things a shot. I just have to understand that it's not always going to work. And last night with Deadlock, that's why it was disappointing to me, because I played it and I genuinely liked it. I was like, this is actually a really good game that I would like to try and learn, but I can't do that if it's going to bring in a toxic audience who aren't going to support the content. They're just here to basically be dicks. Because then the stream's not enjoyable for anyone. You know, even my positive viewers can't have a good time when more than half the chat is a bunch of toxic idiots, you know? All right, well, folks, I guess sadly, right, that's our determination, is that moving forward, it does not look like that we're going to have success with a game such as Deadlock, and that sucks. You know? It does. Like, actually, that's not really the answer I was looking for. I was hoping that maybe it was a one-off, you know, bad luck stream, and that maybe there were people who were willing to support a game like that, and they just weren't there or whatever. But that's not the vibe I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? At all. That's not the vibe I'm getting. The vibe I'm getting is, no, people just want to chill, right? People just want to relax. So, yeah, I guess Deadlock ain't it then, right? What can I say? Now, if you have feedback that's different than that, by all means, if you're watching this on demand, leave a comment and let me know what you think. But that's the vibe I'm getting right now from the viewers is, yeah, we want to hang out, we want to relax, we want to chill, we want to enjoy games, play more indie games, you know, do more variety of that. But this competitive stuff ain't for us. You can't even talk to us when you're playing it. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay. All right. So that's that, at least in that regard, but I'd like to have more feedback if possible. Jade, no, stepdad is not in Kick Chat today. I think he wanted to say hello to stepdad, but he's not there. So a couple things, okay? So, number one, there was a surprise, shocking announcement this morning. I don't know if you guys heard it. Oh, I'm not even kidding you. I was about to tell you the announcement. Yeah, I was about to tell you the announcement, and then someone just tipped me $5 to talk about it. Okay? So let me say thank you to an anonymous $5 tipper. I'm not even kidding. I mean, what timing that was. I certainly wasn't expecting that. So listen to this. You're going to get a kick out of this one. And the funny part is, this is literally coming off of the debacle that is the Virtual Boy. Okay? And we just had this debacle that was the Virtual Boy, a $100 piece of plastic with nothing inside of it. Nintendo ripping people off, making it so that you can't even capture from the Virtual Boy, which is a joke. Why on earth can I only play the game offline without being able to capture or stream my content? It's ridiculous. It's nonsensical. And it's basically, it's Nintendo gatekeeping and being anti-consumer so that you can basically not do what you want with what you already bought. It's just ludicrous, okay? So listen to what Nintendo did this morning. Are you ready for this one? Nintendo shadow dropped Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, the original two games that were Pokemon. The only other one is there was a blue one too, wasn't there? I'm pretty sure there was, and then there was a Pokemon Yellow, which was the Pikachu edition, right? So what it is these are versions that are Game Boy Color versions of the original Pokemon game on Game Boy, but now for the first time ever, they're now available on a modern console. So you can now play Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green on your Switch or Switch 2, okay? And you might say, well, that's cool, because we were just talking about this the other day, weren't we? We were saying, if only Nintendo would make their old school Pokemon games more accessible, because they're not. Like, you can't even play the originals right now. So now they did. They made them accessible, right? So that's pretty cool, right? But there's a catch. Are you ready for this? You know what? No, I'm even going to do this. I want to be sure you can hear me when I say this, because everything I say about Nintendo is true, and then people give me shit for it. Well, I would love to hear your justification for this one, okay? Nintendo already has Nintendo Switch Online, where you subscribe and you get games digitally in a subscription-based service every month. And then they have the expansion pass, where you subscribe for even more, and they give you more games every month. So guess what they just did with Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green? You ready? They only made them available as separate purchases outside of the Nintendo Online subscription for $20 each. So go ahead and now you tell me the justification for Nintendo doing that, and explain why those games shouldn't have simply been added to the catalog of Nintendo Switch Online games instead of them trying to steal more fucking money from their customer base. Explain. Right now. So, it's absolutely, positively, 100% fucking greed is what it is. It is greed. They want more money for literally nothing. They did zero effort, zero work, and now they are releasing these games for profits. They already have a subscription service where they were telling you, we're going to give you all these retro games, subscribe. So you do, and then they release retro games outside of the service and charge you top dollar for them like they're new games. That's fucking insane. No one can justify this action. There is not a human on earth that will convince me that this is a somehow consumer-friendly choice and they make sense that they should do it this way and this is justified, because it's not. It's pure unadulterated greed trying to rip off their customers who already are paid subscribers of the service. Seriously. So, am I going to spend $20 right now to play Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green? No, I am not. Absolutely not. Okay? Now, long term, perhaps if there's enough desire for it. But number one, we just finished a Pokemon playthrough. All right? That was insanely lengthy. We just wrapped it up. Okay? So that 100% is one of the reasons why. That's number one. Number two, we've got another Pokemon game coming out next month that's new. It's Pokopia, which is the hybrid of Pokemon and Animal Crossing. And I actually do want to give that one a shot. I feel like that's at least good for a stream or two. Even if we end up getting bored with it, at least probably for a stream or two, we can have some fun. Okay? And I definitely don't think it makes sense to be playing Dragon Quest VII and a Pokemon game at the same time while there's a Pokemon game looming on the horizon about to release. So here's the thing. Could I play Pokemon Fire Red or Leaf Green in the future? Absolutely, when the time is right. Now is not the right time. Despite the fact it's hilarious because... Wait, what? Is this for fucking real? No way. We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Spencer apparently just resigned. No way. That just happened live? Yes. Phil Spencer has decided to retire. Sarah Bond is out. Matt Booty has been promoted as the Microsoft AI exec. What the fuck? And Asha Sharma is the new Xbox boss. Holy breaking fucking news. Whoa. Okay, we have something much more interesting to talk about right now. Holy shit. Let's go. Holy shit. Wow, are you ready? This is wild. This I did not expect, but it's about goddamn fucking time. Okay? Here we go. Phil Spencer retiring. Sarah Bond out. Matt Booty promoted as Microsoft AI exec. Asha Sharma named new Xbox boss. Here we go. Let's read it. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, who's been at Microsoft since he joined as an intern in 1988 and with Xbox since the software giant launched its first console in 2001, is retiring. What's hilarious is that he's retiring, which means he's filthy rich for basically tanking the company, right? Spencer's retirement is effective on Monday, February 23rd. What an abrupt retirement, right? Not even like a slow retirement. He's just out of nowhere. Meanwhile, Xbox president Sarah Bond, long thought by many both inside and outside of Microsoft to be Spencer's heir apparent, has also resigned. Holy shit. The new CEO of Microsoft Gaming will be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's core AI product. Finally, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to Chief Content Officer and will work closely with Sharma. Wow. Spencer in his email to Microsoft staff says in part, last fall I shared with Satya I was thinking about stepping back and starting the next chapter of my life. From that moment, we aligned on approaching this transition with intention, ensuring stability and strengthening the foundation we built. Xbox has always been more than a business. It's a vibrant community. Oh, shut up. Today marks an exciting new chapter for Microsoft Gaming. Yeah, you're out. It is exciting. No, really. That's actually really exciting that you're gone because you don't know what the fuck you were doing and you were tanking your company. So it's actually, this is great news, quite frankly. Like anyone but Phil Spencer at this point. So we'll have to see. This Asha Sharma, no idea who the hell that was. Okay. We know this is an important moment for our fans, partners, and team. Yeah, we're excited that you're out. Seriously. Okay. Sharma is a former VP of Product and Engineering at Meta and former Instacart COO who was a board member of the Home Depot. She literally just joined Microsoft in 2024. So she's been with them for less than 2 years, and they just made her the head of Xbox Gaming. I wonder if this will go well. Oh, boy. Now, listen to this. My first job is simple. Understand what makes this work and protect it, and that starts with 3 commitments. Number 1, great games. Yeah, and that's something that they haven't done. That's 100% what Microsoft has not been doing. So if you're going to start focusing on making great games, then you've already done better than Phil Spencer. We must have great games beloved by players before we do anything. Correct. Unforgettable characters, stories that make us feel, innovative gameplay, and creative excellence. Correct. We will empower our studios, invest in iconic franchises, and back bold new ideas. We will take risks. We will enter new categories and markets where we can add real value, grounded in what players care about most. I promoted Matt Booty in honor of this commitment. He understands the craft, and he challenges of building great games, has led teams that deliver award-winning work, and has earned the trust of game developers across the industry. Second, the return of Xbox. Are you kidding me? She's saying everything that I've been saying. Like, this is literally what I've been saying. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who built the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players around the world. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. It connects us to the players and fans who invest in Xbox and to developers who build ambitious experience for it. Yeah. As in, no, your phone is not a fucking Xbox, okay? This is not an Xbox. Your PC is not an Xbox. The Xbox is a console that's meant to compete with other consoles. That's supposed to have games on it that are good, and people need a reason to own the Xbox. You need to get that back. Gaming now lives across devices, not within the limits of any single piece of hardware. As we expand across PC, mobile, and cloud, Xbox should feel... she already fucked up. She fucked up. She literally just said, we need people to invest in the Xbox again. And by the way, the Xbox isn't one thing. Yes, it is. She's an idiot. Already she fucked up. Yeah. She just fucked up. She literally... They're still doubling down on the everything is an Xbox. Moronic. Idiotic. No one will own an Xbox if everything is an Xbox. What a complete idiot. Third, future of play. We are witnessing the reinvention of play. No, you're not. There's no reinvention of play. What are you talking about? There is no innovation right now in play at all, actually. In fact, that's the problem with the industry. To meet the moment, we'll invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we have. Okay, you're more. Okay, never mind. That's it. We're done. They're cooked. No, they're cooked. That's it. It's over. So, yeah, I don't even need to read any further. I'm actually done. They're cooked. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. Let's get back to what we were doing. Never mind. They're done. Like, really? Everything she's saying, she says, we're going to change everything, and then immediately reiterates all the things that Phil Spencer was doing. She's a complete idiot. So, fuck it. But, I mean, it's interesting that Phil Spencer's out and Sarah Bond is out. Because if it was Phil Spencer out and then Sarah Bond up, I'd be like, oh. But what that tells me is the reason Phil Spencer's really retiring is because everyone told him to get the fuck out because he doesn't know what he's doing. Because if that were the case and he was just legit retiring, then it would have been Sarah Bond next. But Sarah Bond is basically Phil Spencer 2.0. She just does everything that he does, you know, she goes along with it. So what that tells me is there was no confidence in that, and they wanted him and people around him out, and that's why Sarah Bond just resigned too. Which, quite frankly, is a good thing for the company. But this woman sounds exactly the same. Yeah. Well, that was seriously shocking news that I wasn't expecting. But do you really think that there's going to be a change? Do you really think there's going to be anything changing? I don't think so. I don't think at all. I think it sounds to me because, again, if she had said, we're reinvesting in the Xbox console. Yes. We're going to make great games again. Yes. And by the way, games across all platforms and innovate new ways to play. You're an idiot. You're a complete idiot. Seriously. You once again have not gotten it. You lost the plot. You don't know what gamers want. You're not listening. What you're listening to are investors, buzzwords, You're not listening to the gamers who give you money. So you'll continue to fail until you unplug from the money and you start listening to the people who give you the money to be successful. You will never be successful. And they refuse to do that. They live in another planet, another fucking world. They believe AI is the future. They believe that having Xbox across all platforms is the future. It's not. People just want a console that works, that has great games on it, that gives you a reason to invest your money in it, and they want to feel like it's a brand that they can stand behind and feel loyal to. That's why the Xbox versus PlayStation wars were so epic, why you had the fanboys at each other's throats, because it was like Team Xbox versus Team PlayStation, and we don't have that anymore. We don't. Instead, we have wishy-washy nonsense of, oh, Xbox is on your phone, is on your PC, it's on your refrigerator, it's on your smartwatch, it's on your ass. No, it's not. That's why you suck and you're failing, because you have nothing. You literally have nothing to offer the customers. So why would a customer ever want to spend money on you? Yeah. Sad, man. Now, here's the thing, is if Steam Machine had come out like it was supposed to in the last couple of months, we might not even be in this conversation. Xbox might have already been completely done, because I feel like Steam Machine is going to be that hybrid of PC and console that people really are looking for. That marriage of being able to play all the PC games you can't play on console, but have the reasonable price point for it. And the only reason that Steam Machine has not released is because all the pricing issues right now with RAM and memory for graphics. Right now, graphics cards and RAM are so expensive that Steam can't put out a Steam Machine at a reasonable price point. If they were to make Steam Machine right now, I bet it would cost $1,250, and that would effectively price themselves out of a market that would potentially get console buyers to buy it. So that's why it's not out. That's why, I mean, they could release it right now, and it would be too expensive. So Valve is being smart about this, and they're holding off on releasing the Steam Machine. But if the Steam Machine had released, say in January for $700, I don't think Xbox would even be around anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the RAM prices are insane. Graphics card prices are insane. Everything's insane. That's what's screwing the gaming up right now, is that we were about to have kind of almost a revolution with this Steam Machine. It was that perfect hybrid price point. And then, boom, it blew up because no one could buy it. And now we have to wait. So, well, wow. I was not expecting Phil Spencer to step down and Sarah Bond to quit, essentially. That's crazy. But to be honest, yeah, it needed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it totally needed to happen 100%. Because they were doing absolutely nothing for the company. They were doing nothing to help. You had Sarah Bond going on doing interviews, basically literally just doing corpo speak, saying nothing. Like, what are you paid for? You don't even do anything. You literally don't do a job. So, anyway. Well, that's interesting. All right, guys, so here's the deal. Originally, we were going to do this shopping for a controller. We're not going to have time for it today. But what I want to do, I do want to talk about next week, because we have 2 exciting new things going on next week. So let's talk. So first off, next week, we're going to continue on with all the stuff that I'm currently doing. We're going to have Hollow Knight, RimWorld, and some Street Fighter, and Dragon Quest. So those 4 games continue. We're going to have a night on Monday night, Indies Night, where we're going to take a look at more indie games. And right now, we have tons of candidates. We have a bunch of games that I wish listed based off your feedback. We have Mugenics that people have been possibly asking for, and more. So Monday night, we're going to do a night where people will be showing up and voting on what games they want. And we're going to probably try 2 to 3 indie games on Monday night. And I'm probably going to do another Indies Night as well by the end of... So probably like Wednesday. Probably like maybe Monday and Wednesday. Will end up being Indies Nights. Okay? Because next week is a weird week. Here's why. There's 2 new things going on next week. Number 1, there is the Marathon Beta, or early playtest, whatever they're calling it, and that's coming out on Thursday, and I want to do that as Thursday's daytime stream. So Thursday's day stream will be Marathon, and then Thursday night we're probably going to do Street Fighter, because of course Friday of next week, that's 1 week from today, is the launch and premiere of Resident Evil Requiem, and I'm going to play Resident Evil Requiem all day on release day. First and second stream. I'm very excited to check it out. I hope that you guys will join me for Resident Evil Requiem all day on Friday of next week. All right, so we got some interesting new things in this rotation that are going to be happening next week. Because of that, because Thursday is going to be Marathon and Street Fighter and Friday is going to be Resident Evil, we only have 4 days to play Hollow Knight, RimWorld, Dragon Quest, and Indies. All right, so that's the schedule. Basically, Sunday is Hollow Knight and RimWorld. Monday is Dragon Quest and Indies. Tuesday is Hollow Knight and RimWorld, and Wednesday is Dragon Quest and Indies, and then Thursday is Marathon and Street Fighter, and Friday is Resident Evil, and that's the streaming week next week. Okay? Also, next week, there will be DSP Tries It for Wendy's. I'm actually going to go back for Wendy's for the first time in ages, and we're going to try the Wendy's chicken tenders that just came out a few weeks ago. We're going to try all the different dipping sauces that they offer and taste them all against each other. So there will be Wendy's returning to DSP Tries It on Monday, okay? So that's going to be next week's streams. I hope that sounds good to you because it's a good variety of stuff, right? I think it's going to be a good week. Okay. Someone tipped a buck and says, given that we have all these RAM and SSD shortages and everything, are you happy you got your PCs when you did? Are you kidding me? Of course. I mean, if I didn't get my gaming PC in the summer of 2024, someone gifted it to me, which was amazing that someone did that because that's like a $3,000 PC. And then I bought my capture streaming PC in December of 2024, right? So if I hadn't done that, basically I would be stuck in the dark ages. Right now, that PC, if I were to buy it, would probably cost $5,000. Seriously, with the cost of RAM and the graphics card that's in it and everything, I bet that would cost me like $5K. It's insane how much prices have increased out of nowhere. I mean, you got to think that that's going to break. That bubble will burst and the prices are going to go back down. But that's just insane that it's that much more expensive, right? I don't know. I'm so happy that I got it when I did. Okay. So, next week, I am very excited for the games next week because not only are we going to have ongoing playthroughs that are already doing well, we're going to have new indies we're going to test and get in the rotation, and then we're going to be playtesting Marathon, and then we're going to have Resident Evil. So next week should be a really, really great week, okay? By the way, Stuart, I apologize. Stuart hit me with the breaking news that Phil Spencer was resigning with a £2 super chat, and I forgot to add the £2 to the leaderboard. Sorry about that, Stuart. Let's do that right now. The news blew my mind. Let's get it in there right now. There we go. Okay. So now, like I said, sadly, we just don't have time to look for a controller right now. There's not enough time. Let's do that on Sunday. On Sunday morning, let's take a look at retro controllers for the Switch 2 and pick one. Okay? But for the meantime, for the end of today's podcast, let's open it up to Q&A. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. Okay? Let's go. So, tag me in either chat and let me know what you guys want to chat about this morning. Let's do some Q&A. So, 6 Hybrid says RAM prices are expected to stay high till 2030. So you know what's going to happen then? It's this simple. RAM prices will not stay that high. Something's going to happen where other companies are going to start manufacturing RAM to stop the shortage because the demand is so high. They're going to make money no matter what. Or someone's going to develop a new kind of RAM that's not like the current RAM that we have that's going to basically be cost effective. It's going to be one or the other. There's no way that people are going to be paying $400 for 2 sticks of RAM until 2030. It's not going to happen, okay? RAM is so essential for so many devices. There's no way that we could just have a bottleneck now where everyone has to spend 10 times the cost of what it should cost. It's ridiculous. We're going to have workarounds for it eventually. It's going to take a little bit, but I guarantee you within the next 1 to 2 years, what's going to happen is you're going to have new companies that are going to start mass producing RAM so that they can jump in on the demand and make tons of money on it. And then someone might actually innovate and make a new kind of RAM that's going to basically change it, and it's going to be cheaper anyway. A 5090 is currently $3,500. Yeah, I saw. I'm not even kidding. It was just randomly on a listing. It was like an ad. It was like a graphics card was $4,150, and I was like, I think I'll wait. I don't think if I was looking to buy a graphics card right now and it was, I don't think I would spend that much. I'm just saying. I don't believe that one component of the PC should actually be more expensive than all of the other components of the PC combined, right? I don't think I'll do that. What's up, Game Boy? Good to see you this morning. How are you doing? Have I played Monster Hunter before? Yes, I played Monster Hunter on a handheld. It was the 3DS at one point, and it got, basically within 2 streams, people got bored because of the grinding aspect of the game where you have to repetitively gather resources and kill enemies to grind for certain stuff. I played Monster Hunter World. I tried the beta, and everyone hated that too, and then I just never went back to it. So, there you go. Layla the Witch says, in Street Fighter 6, what character needs a buff and what character needs a nerf? Definitely, it's definitely Lily who needs the buff, and the nerf would be just rush down in general, not even the character type, but there should not be characters who can endlessly rush down safely. It should always be risk reward, and since there's almost no risk to rush down with certain characters, it's like endless flowing combos and shit, they should end that. Yeah, a bunch of people are saying stuff for, it's like definitely someone's going to start manufacturing RAM, or there's going to be innovation in RAM, because with RAM demand being so high and so expensive, something's going to give. I agree. I don't think we're going to have another 4 years where everyone said, oh, I can't buy PCs or components or consoles because RAM's so expensive. I don't think it's going to happen. Something's going to happen to change that, whether it's someone's going to take advantage of the situation to make money, right? And it's not going to be people are just not going to buy it because it's expensive. There's going to be ways around it. Yes, we talked about Sony closing down Bluepoint yesterday, actually, on the morning show. If you like my opinions on Sony abruptly closing down Bluepoint Studios, check out yesterday's DSP morning show. I went into detail about it. Explain what I mean by someone will invent a new kind of RAM. Well, Chandler, the RAM that I had in the 1990s that I put inside the PCs that I built is literally nothing whatsoever like the modern RAM used today. It has been innovated upon, improved upon, and changed. The technology is different. That's what I mean. If the RAM today that we're using is so expensive to manufacture and is basically in a situation where everyone needs it and no one can get it because it's too pricey, someone's going to find a workaround. Someone's going to figure something else out. Oh, I do know that too, Game Boy. People are going to go with what's more profitable. But I have a hard time believing that now we're going to abandon a market. We're going to say, well, there's a massive demand in the consumer market for RAM. Let's abandon that. I don't think that's going to happen. Even though the main manufacturers right now may be saying, well, we're going to make RAM for AI because that's profitable, there's still profit to be made in the consumer realm. And there's going to be solution. I have a hard time believing that now we're just going to have a tech bottleneck and no one will have any technology for 5 years. No, I don't believe that. Yes, we've already talked about cloud computing and how horrible it is, and that's what they're trying to force you to do. Take a look at what we just did when we tried to play DayZ over the cloud computing during the marathon. It worked, but it was pixelated as shit. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't good. And certainly you weren't owning what you were doing. You were on someone else's server doing it, right? The tech is just not there yet. Even with modern internet improving, the tech for everything being in the cloud is just not there yet. But they're trying to push it early, is what they're trying to do. That's exactly what Phil Spencer was saying, is that he wanted to make everything an Xbox because everything's in the cloud. Why do I think people got upset when PlayStation and Xboxes went digital, but no one complained when CD readers were quietly taken off of PCs? Because honestly, I think that people who are console aficionados are collectors. People who are console aficionados want to feel like they physically own everything. So look at that beautiful PlayStation 5 Pro sitting on my shelf. Look at this Xbox Series X sitting on my shelf. And look at this giant wall of games that I have. While PC gamers have already been used to having a digital curated library, right? It's called Steam, and it's been around for ages. People aren't looking to buy physical copies of PC games. They've already accepted the fact that PC games are digital, constantly auto-update, and the library is at your fingertips at a moment's notice on your PC. It's a different audience, honestly. It does. It feels like it's two completely different kinds of consumer. I get that now because now I'm a PC gamer and I have that library. But beforehand, when everything was, console, you could definitely get sucked into the whole physical ownership thing. But you're right. PCs haven't had CD drives in how long? And do you need one? No. What would you need a CD drive for? Nothing. I've already explained. Someone says, if you were to become the CEO of Microsoft, then what would you be doing right now? Not Microsoft, but Xbox. I already explained. The first announcement you make is that we are actually going to become a game creator again. Enough with the tech speak, the nonsense. We're going to actually make great games that you're going to want to play and spend your money on because they're going to be unique. There's going to be cultural experiences again, you know, like the times of original Gears of War and Halo and these franchises that you went to exclusively to Microsoft for, and that's why you wanted to own the console. That's what you have to do. You have to make games that people actually want to play on your platform, and that's what they haven't done in a long time. There's literally no reason to own the Xbox Series X unless you're looking to get games on Game Pass. That's it. There's no games on there that you need. They're all blah experiences, you know? Exactly. Most tasteless just put it the right way. He says, set trends, don't follow them. Exactly. Make the things that are original, innovative, and fun that people want, not, oh, here's what everyone else is doing and we have to try to do it better. No, do the original thing first. Be the innovator. Be the one that owns the library that you must play on the Xbox console so people will want to own the Xbox console, right? Well, there you go. Why do I think Nintendo got greedy because of their Switch success? Oh, Nintendo has always been greedy. Let's not be cut any corners here. Let's not try to sugarcoat it. Nintendo has always been greedy. The difference is that when Nintendo makes mistakes, they're never forced to learn from them. Okay? So when they're on a high, like right now they're on a high. The Switch was a massive success, correct? They made insane amounts of money, got crazy market share. Now the Switch 2 is out there. It's doing good. Okay, for sure. And they continuously now are making bad decisions, but they're not paying for them. All right? What's going to happen is eventually there's going to be another Wii U situation where, oops, we actually went so far off the deep end being greedy and not caring about our consumers that our consumers are no longer going to buy what we offer. But the thing is, they have a fan base of rabid consumers who buy everything. So even though the next Wii U flop may not sell, people will still buy something else, right? They'll start selling Nintendo wrist rests. It'll have the fucking Nintendo branding and fucking like a QR code you scan into your game, and they'll charge $70 for this, and people will buy it. They'll buy 17 of them. A wrist rest of the Mario wrist rest, the Kirby wrist rest, the fucking Donkey Kong wrist rest. It's because, you know, you might say, well, that sounds really stupid, right? It is, but that's what they did with Amiibos, and it's the same fucking thing. And that's literally what saved them when the Wii U failed. So, Nintendo has never stopped being greedy, and they always will continue to be greedy until they're forced to not be, and they have not yet been forced to change because their customer base of fanboys are so stupid. It's that simple. They need to have a reason to improve. They're never going to improve if they're rewarded for their bad practices, and they keep getting rewarded for their bad practices. Like we just talked about earlier on this show, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green were just digitally released for $20 each on the Nintendo eShop instead of putting them into their already existing Nintendo Switch Online subscription plan, which it should have been. It should have been put in there, but they want to charge separately instead. Correct? Correct. Now, will people say, oh, we're not buying those, boycott? No, there will be good sales. Today it was announced Pokemon fanboys, as dumb as they are, will run and buy those digitally today. They will buy in droves. They will run and buy it in droves and make them a ton of money on these two games. They'll complain about it. They'll go online and say, I can't believe it. I can't believe Nintendo's doing this. Why would this not be a Nintendo Online subscription? Oh, let me buy both of them right now and buy them and spend $40. It's bizarre, that behavior. It's almost like, what is it? Stockholm Syndrome, right? You're just so desensitized to being treated badly that you like it. I feel that's what's happened with Nintendo fans. They like being treated like dirt. Please, yes, please whip me some more. Yes, please. Oh, you broke my spine? Here, now break my arm, please. I don't get it. Yes, Brandon, everyone's coming to stream to tell me about Phil Spencer. We already covered it. We covered it live. I read the whole IGN article and we laughed. We had a good laugh. We said, ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. It was very entertaining. Okay, I didn't laugh like that, but I just did now. I should have laughed like that. No, Banana Jose, I'm not playing them. I said, there's no way that I'm going to buy those games. I said long term, if we decide down the road that we want to play a classic Pokemon game because they were never accessible until now, then I would consider maybe doing it in the future. There's no way that we're playing those Pokemon games for $20 a pop now. That's insane. Every person who says, but you buy Nintendo stuff is going to get an instant ban. I'm a content creator and a reviewer, you fucking dunce. I'm not a common consumer. I'm someone who's here to tell you the truth about what I'm doing. Have I not been critical of the Switch 2 and told you it's a ripoff and there's no good games for it? Have I not destroyed and eviscerated the Virtual Boy this week and told you don't buy it? That's the point of me buying it. If you don't understand that simple fact, you're actually stupid, and I'm going to just instantly ban you when I see your stupidity. Jade says, if you became Microsoft CEO, Call of Duty would be good again. There you go. There you go. But here's the thing. I would make Call of Duty good, and it wouldn't sell. Why? Because the modern consumer doesn't want good games. They want slop. Seriously, like, I would make it so that Call of Duty isn't based around a bunch of microtransactions and skins, and then it lose a lot of money. That's the truth. It would play well. I would make it play like some of the older games and add a few new features in here and there, and I would have a combination of really awesome new features with some legacy features, and then what would happen is I wouldn't put the microtransactions in it, and it would lose money. No, because here would be the trade-off. Here's the truth. Here's what needs to happen, and this is what won't happen. They need to take Call of Duty off Game Pass, but then they need to take the microtransactions out. So basically, Call of Duty now, you have to buy it again, but the game's good, and it's not based off microtransactional garbage. So your game is actually a solid, awesome game you'll play for the whole year and not hate. The actual matchmaking will be better. The connections will be better. The hit detection will be better. The kill cams will be representative of what actually fucking happened in the match. Imagine that. Imagine if the game played well, and you had to pay for it. But you paid for a good product, but then you didn't get nickel and dimed all year. Well, that's what should happen, and that will never happen because they already changed the model to be this transactional all year drop money on it model. So now it can't work the other way again. Do you see? They fucked it up. All right, guys. So we're winding down on the show. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the podcast today. I just got a $2 tip. Someone says, Nintendo reminds me of Apple with the overpriced products and loyal fan base, and I think Nintendo is classist. If you're working class, you can't even afford Nintendo stuff anymore. Yeah, I made a good comparison the other day as well. I would agree with the Apple comparison. I'll also say Nintendo is trying to be Disney. What Nintendo is trying to do is convince you that all of their IPs are better and more important than everyone else's, that their games are kind of a cut above the rest, and therefore, if you want to be a part of this cultural movement of what is Nintendo now, you must spend. Nintendo right now is trying to take all their IPs and turn them into movies, just like Disney does. They're trying to take all their IPs and make theme parks, just like Disney does. And like I even said, I wouldn't be surprised if soon you start hearing about the Nintendo Cruise Line, the Nintendo Resort, because that's exactly how they're treating it. Like now, you have to be rich to truly enjoy what Nintendo has to offer. It's a premium product at a premium price. You have to get in, and then you feel special because you're part of the Nintendo experience, when in reality, Nintendo got popular being the bargain basement discount, right? The Wii was the cheapest console at the entry-level price point, and the games were shovelware and were sold for cheap. That's how the Wii blew up in popularity. The Nintendo Entertainment System was not pricey at the time. It was about mid-range pricing. It never was considered the most expensive console. You know what I'm saying? And then Nintendo loses their way, and they get wrapped up in their own shit. Like, their head is up their own ass, so heavy up there. They can't smell shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they don't get it. That they're actually screwed up in that regard. So actually, it was very different because some people are saying SNES games were $69.99. That's false. Some were, because the pricing was different in the 90s. The way the pricing worked was based on the length of the game and how much storage capacity was on the cartridge, if the cartridge had to have a save functionality, etc. You could buy a Super Nintendo game for $20, and you could buy one for $90. It depended on the game. The more pricey ones were the lengthy RPGs that had more on the cartridge and had save functionality. I remember that because I was there. The pricing was all over the place. You could find like old circulars from the 90s, and they'd be like, this game is like $20 and this game's like $90. Like, what the hell? But they're both Super Nintendo games. That's how it was back then. It was very bizarre. What's up, Ghost of Willie Two Guns? How you doing, man? All right. We'll have a few more minutes of Q&A, and then we'll end the show, and then we'll get set up and ready for Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I hope you guys will stick around for it. It's a game that people wanted for a couple of months, and I'm finally getting to it. And certainly, guys, please support it. You know, we've had this week ups and downs with streams. We really have. Last night, I was not... I was surprised that last night's Deadlock stream didn't go well, okay? We've had streams that didn't do well. We'd like to have a good streaming day today. So let's go. Let's get some support for the podcast. If you liked this show, if you enjoyed the discussion, if you had a good time with me, please support the stream, okay? And please stick around for Marvel Cosmic Invasion as well. All right? Good stuff. Do I think Sony will get pricier now that Xbox is out of the race? I mean, Sony already is getting pricier. Everyone is. Everyone is. Everyone thinks now is the opportunity to raise prices, and it's not working. They're just dumb. No one is going to drop more money on a console right now. They're not. They're just going to wait. They're going to believe, well, there's a new console on the horizon that's going to be the better one anyway. Why should I drop $700 on the console now? When these price increases happened, did you notice sales went down? Of course they did. I don't know what they thought was going to happen when they raised prices. Doesn't make sense. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Someone said they just tore their sack. Oh, I don't know how you did that. What were you doing? You were watching my stream and you tore your sack? Jeez. What happened there? Because you would think someone watching my stream was like in a chair relaxing or just sitting down on a device or on a computer. How did you tear your sack? Yikes. I mean, ow. And after you tore your sack, instead of going to the hospital, you typed about it in the chat. Like, damn. What's up, TX Shooter? How are you, man? It's good to see you. Cherry Slushy did a $2 super chat and said, nice Yoshi, Lego, and Yoshi mug Gamers Champion. I don't know what Gamers Champion means, but thanks for the $2 super chat. I bet you can't wait for me to have the Virtual Boy behind me. That's going to be exciting, huh? Felix the Maid says, have you noticed all gaming platforms except PlayStation now have a CEO who's a woman for the first time in history, but it's during a generation where consoles are performing bad? So you mean Nintendo and Xbox too? Because you said not Sony, right? Jade, I think we would all love to see Call of Duty come back, you know, in a good way this year. I don't know if it's going to. I don't know. I don't know if I have faith anymore. It seems like no matter who makes the current Call of Duty, it sucks. I want it to be good. I want to have a good installment this year, but I don't know. No, Mad TV, I'm done with Call of Duty, dude. I tried my hardest. Like I said, I was playing and I was actually doing well, and no one cared. So, I'm not going to play it anymore, you know. But I'll play the new one. When the new one comes out in the fall, I'm definitely playing that one. That's just a lie. That's just a lie because if the fans actually liked Call of Duty, they would have supported Call of Duty, and they didn't. So that's just a lie. People tend to support what they like, right? They're going to come by, and they're going to hang out with me, and they're going to support things that they're enjoying. Right now, I have a good, dedicated, and committed, engaged viewership for games like Hollow Knight and RimWorld. We do not have that for Call of Duty. I tried my hardest. I got good at it and was kicking ass in it, and still, no one cared. Now I tore my sack. You see? You got me all upset, and now I tore my sack here live on stream. Ah! Oh! Anyone got a stapler? Oh! What is going on with the sack tearing today? Jeez. We've had a hell of a morning. Phil Spencer resigns live, and now we all tore our sacks collectively. Ow. This is bad. This is very bad. And we have someone who's actually supporting on Kick who hasn't gotten the picture that if you use an offensive, stupid name, I'm not going to acknowledge it. Right? So I'm ignoring them. They've already gifted a sub and kicks, and I'm just ignoring them, and I'll continue to ignore them until they change their name to something that's not fucking stupid. It's a Ken-themed knockoff. Listen. It's a ripoff of Ken's theme from Street Fighter 2. Holy shit. It's totally a ripoff of Ken's theme from Street Fighter 2. Jade, I'm glad you're going to stick around for Marvel. It's good to have you back. You haven't been here all week, I know. So, I'm glad that you'll chill with us today. Sounds like fun. Ruriko, you were here last night. Ruriko says, oh, I didn't know you were playing Deadlock last night. Could you consider playing again? You were there in chat. What are you talking about? What a jerk. All right, guys, are we good? Any last chance if anyone has a question they want to ask. All right. John says, I'm glad that you're giving Marvel another go. It's a great game. Yeah, well, hopefully it's good. Hopefully people will like it. I think it's going to be fun because of the challenges where you're not just doing the stage to win and survive, but you actually have to complete this combat challenge as well with certain characters. And that allows you to change your characters every stage, and it adds to the variety of the game that you get to see all the characters, right? So I think that's going to be very fun, and I'm excited for that today. I just hope that people will stick around and engage and support with this kind of game, because I don't usually play beat-em-ups and shit, right? I don't. So hopefully people will like it. I don't want it to be another dud of a stream because I'm trying something different. You know, this would be like the fifth thing this week that would flop if people don't stick around for it, and I hope they do. I'm trying to do things differently and try new stuff, but I do need some of it to actually work, you know? Okay. I guess that's it, guys. People don't really have much else to talk about, so I appreciate... Oh, Virtual Boy Defeats DSP has gifted a sub. Thank you, Virtual Boy. I appreciate that. You're tied with Revy G for the top sub of the day, for the record. Thank you for that. Okay. Let's end today's show, shall we? This music has gone crazy. What is this? Electric guitar. High aggressive punk. Pause. Pause music. The music has lost control. Okay. All right, folks. Good podcast today. Sorry we got derailed, because originally the plan was that we were going to look for a controller, and obviously that didn't happen with all the madness that was going on, particularly the Phil Spencer thing, kind of trumped what we were doing. But when I come back on Sunday, we will be looking for a retro controller for the Switch 2 so that we can have one for the upcoming Retrothon and more. I'm sure we'll be talking about a lot of stuff, all this stuff going on in gaming. Okay, guys? Cool. Thank you for joining me for today's Level 1 podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, everyone, for chilling as usual. I'll be off tomorrow, but when I see you Sunday, we'll do it all again, and next week's going to be an extra special one. Thank you guys so very much. See you Sunday. Peace out.